Hi, guys. Today, we're going to be talking about anxiety. Yeah, anxiety. So, since you always ask me questions, let me start off with asking you questions, okay? So you know what it feels. I'm just kidding. Anyways, so question number one. What is anxiety to you? And why do you think that we struggle with it so much? Why do believers struggle with anxiety so much?
Anxiety for me is a signal that something is about to go bad. And then also a heads up to check what's happening,
Hmm.
be it internally or externally.
Oh, yeah. The second question is, why do you think a lot of believers struggle with anxiety?
Um, One, because we're human.
Hmm.
As much as obviously we believe in God, we know with Him all things are possible. However, living in a world like this as human, our flesh sometimes might always be in the front line. And also too, based on what we see, right? If we're people who is very, like for me, when I told you that I'm someone who's very solution focused and someone who's always planned everything. However, life is just not going in that direction.
Hmm.
That's that signal. Okay, something is wrong. What do I have to do? Is it me? Is it other people? How can I fix it? And before you know it, now you're unsettled. Now you're very uneasy. Little thing, gets you. You're frustrated. You're angry. Um, it could go many ways. But with the generation now that we're living to, everything, even sometimes I feel like also my anxiety also comes from other people. For some reason, I find myself inheriting other people's anxiety. But yeah.
So for me, um, I don't think anxiety is necessarily a sin. You know, just like you mentioned, it's usually kind of like an alarm system in our body. Like something is happening, yada yada yada. Fix this, da 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 da. The sympathetic nervous system is activated, and all of that. For me, I think it becomes a sin when it becomes an idol. That's You felt that, huh?
Mhm.
That's when it becomes a sin. Anxiety in general is anxiety in general. What causes me particularly, I don't know about you guys, to be anxious is whenever I expect a result other than a positive one. For me, that's something that sparks my anxiety, or when I feel like I don't deserve something. Like, for example, let's say that I don't know, a doctor's report. I'm waiting on a doctor's report, or I'm waiting on my grades. My mind usually goes to, and maybe in a way, it's kind of, I train my brain so much to protect me of like, to think about all the worst possible things that's going to happen so I can kind of deal with it before it happens. So let's say I'm waiting on a doctor's report, or I'm waiting on like an exam result or something. It's like my brain is telling me, the report says cancer? What if the report is like bad? Or what if you don't do well on the test? Like you study, but what if you don't do well? I'm probably going to do bad on it. So when that happens, that's where the anxiety starts coming from. And I think it's very important for all of us to make sure to really dig deep to figure out where exactly an anxiety is coming from so we can nip it in the bud. Because if we don't know the source of it, then we don't really know how to stop it. Oftentimes, I feel like normally, I don't know if this has happened to you before, the waiting and like the anxiousness for the things that's going to happen, that you think are going to happen, that probably is not going to happen, whether it happens or whether it doesn't happen, which we we don't want the bad thing to happen. Have you ever noticed that it's not always as bad as it is? Like the result is not always as bad. The problem is with the anticipation and the anxiety. And I and I feel like
Hmm.
that is where the enemy attacks us. Again, there's nothing wrong with feeling anxious about something. For me, like if you're getting ready for a job interview and you're anxious about the job interview, it's technically maybe because you're coming from a place of I really want to get this job. It's just all about perversion for the devil. Anything can be a sin. Like eating, there's nothing wrong with eating, but you can do it to a place where it turns into gluttony and it becomes a sin. So I feel like that's how it is with anxiety as well. And I've been noticing that it's been increasing a lot. Like the more the years go by, I've seen like it's really increasing a lot. And I feel like it's a tool that the enemy wants to use because with anxiety comes separation
Hmm.
from God. You know, sometimes we even glorify our thoughts more with like, I don't know if you've done this before. I used to do this when I was in high school. Whenever I would be going through things, I'll start playing music that like slow music or something to like to really get the feeling
Heighten
going,
it.
to heighten the stuff, and it just puts me more in a rabbit hole. But I just feel like that is one of his tactic to use to separate us more from God. Instead of going to the source of the answer, we like we tend to shade away and hide away, and yeah. So you can say anything else that comes to mind.
No, definitely. You, girl. Also, the thing I've also realized is the fact that you said something that was so profound, which is that idol.
Hmm.
And that's the thing, guys. Anything can be made an idol.
Anything.
Um,
Appearance,
and I know
everything.
we're always talking. We can have conversation for days. Literally our
About
favorite,
anything.
yeah, favorite pastime. And we're having a conversation, and I got to the point where I said, even failing, passing, failing, that's some people also make that an idol. Um, you gotta your score back to even open it,
Mm,
you probably wait days because you're scared. I think the question I always ask people, I am a sucker for miracle questions because I always use miracle question and also to be realistic with my questions. So miracle questions usually like, let's say you get everything you can possibly get that you desire on earth and it comes to pass, what would that look like for you?
mm,
Right? And then the opposite of that would be that thing you fear the most. What if it actually happens? Will you eventually
mm.
be okay?
That's so true. That's good.
So I think because of that, and I always say age will humble you too, because there are
Oh my
ways you
gosh, you said
start,
that so many
there are
times.
ways you think about something. I'm at the point in my life where I'm not scared of failing.
Mm,
I don't care how much I fail. However, is my purpose still going to be fulfilled? It doesn't have to have like a deadline for me because you know how a certain age was supposed to be this and that.
yeah.
That's no longer my problem. The main concern, will I still fulfill my purpose? Again, situations are different. Even the situation, it makes sense why people are more anxious. And I'm talking about people who probably are not in a position where they can do certain thing for themselves and they're really relying on one thing. And if that doesn't happen, I might even be extreme and say maybe that might, take their lives. Many things you can think about, right? But the most important thing is what we cannot control. We have to find a way to work around it.
Mhm.
So that way we don't psych ourselves.
Yeah. Because if you can control it, then yeah, you're right. I think that's where the like another source of anxiety comes from,
Mhm.
trying to
Lack of
control
control.
something that you know that you can't control,
Mhm.
you know,
And then fixating in
and
it.
fixating on it.
And then with that fixating it and the thing about cases like this, I promise you, it always manifests into different realms.
Mm,
For anxiety, then it's generalized anxiety.
mm,
It's one thing before, now it's not something else, and it's not something else. And then from that, it starts to affect your day-to-day life.
mhm,
And then for that, something else start coming out of that. You find yourself isolating. You've probably never done that before. From isolating, it goes into something else. You're probably eating too much or eating not enough. From that, it goes into something else. Now you can't sleep well anymore. Now, depression, not consistent depression, seasonal depression, triggers. That's literally what the enemy wants.
yeah. So it's he uses it as basically like a tool. And I always like to
Mhm.
say that focus on something that adds to your life and not take away. Anxiety is going to take away peace. Anxiety is going to take away joy. Anxiety is going to take away time, quality time, and things like that. And peace is such an important thing. Anxiety will make you think that you don't deserve peace or you can't get peace. And don't forget in the word, it says, the peace I leave to you. The peace I give you is not of this world. Okay. So God, peace, grace, these things are gifts. Okay. It's not things that we earn, right? Unmerited. They are gifts given to us. But you know how it is with a gift. I can't make you take a gift. I can give you a gift, like I can buy you a cute dress and all. But if you decide not to take it, if you decide not to wear it, it's not yours, even if it's supposed to be. So would you mind passing me that box real quick? Some practical ways to work on anxiety, because that was something that I was struggling with as well. Normally, guys, the videos that we talk about, we're going through it too. It's we are going through things as well. But there was this girl on Instagram. I wish I remember her name, but I don't. But I saw this video of her that she had this box that she called God Box, and what she would do is that whenever like an anxious thought comes to mind, or like something that like a prayer request that she fixates on, or like she's just going through so much, it's just too much to handle, she would literally stop, take a piece of paper, write down whatever is going on. She would pray over it, and then she would crumble it up, and then she would put it inside a box. And I don't know if you can see all of these. I started practicing it as well, and it has been life changing. So basically it said, cast all your anxieties on me, which is the Lord, because he cares for you. Okay. Cast it all on him, pray over it, capture that thought and submit it to the word of God, submit it to God. So that's what this practical example is. I recommend you try it because it has helped me so much. So I would just write it down, and I don't ever go back to it. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 20 years from now, I might go back and look at it as like a testimony of like, wow, there was once a time that I was struggling with this so much. And now like that's the the last thing on my mind. This is how the world is. There are valleys, there are mountains. That's how the world is. And we have such a good God that spoils it and tells you in the Bible that in this world you will go through trials. But it says, though you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, fear no evil, because the Lord is with you. Okay? His word, everything is there, like the Bible, prayer, praise, community with Christ. These are all tools that he left with us to be able to fight, because we already know how it's going to end. We're facing a war that we already know the outcome. Okay, so I feel like these are just tools. I know it's easier said than done of like all of this, but find practical ways. If it's not the God box, it could be something else, maybe writing in a diary, telling a trusted friend. He uses the anxiety, just like you mentioned, to start the isolation, because when you're isolated, oh, it's really hard. And we live in a world where we need community. Jesus showed us that we need inner circles. He had the disciples. He's the only one that could go through life on his own. And he still showed us. I feel like he had disciples because to show us, he gave us examples of how to live life practically. And I don't know about you, but I never saw in the Bible anything about Jesus running. Jesus is always walking. Jesus is always in a nice pace. He's very mellow. He's never in a rush for anything. So I feel like these are all tools that he's teaching us. Okay, this is how you should live your life. So yeah. Do you have any last things to say?
No, you literally said everything. The main important thing is, if you're looking for like maybe in an outlet, places like, well, if they don't understand me, this is us, this is here, right? Hopefully this topic is able to reach people out there to like, trust me, there's hope somewhere. And as always, eventually things will look out for the better.
Amen.
However, for now, do the best you can and leave the rest for God.
Leave the rest for God.
Thank you so much, as always, and have a beautiful week.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and write down in the comment section. Let's make a family. Let's make that sound so scary. Okay. Bye guys.